Right, they are talking about it out loud now. This story first broke early this morning. That Olympic official raised the possibility, only the possibility, that the Summer Games might be in jeopardy. That's because, in part, there are only about a 3-month window there that they have time to ramp up things like security, hotels, and everything else that's needed at the Olympic Village. The threat of the coronavirus, known also as COVID-19, continues to grow. During a briefing this morning by the Centers for Disease Control, the Summer Olympics host nation, Japan, was added to the list of countries reporting cases.
This means that cases of COVID-19 are appearing without a known source of exposure. Locations with reported community spread now include Hong Kong, Iran, Italy, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, and Thailand.
As the potentially deadly virus spreads to more countries, time becomes a factor. Longtime International Olympic Committee member Dick Pound tells the Associated Press the world's athletes, media, and fans need a decision by the end of May, saying, quote, "I'd say folks are going to have to ask, is this under sufficient control that we can be confident about going to Tokyo?" I caught up with BMX gold medalist Connor Fields by phone from Houston. He says, as a likely 2020 Olympian, the possibility of the Olympics being canceled is not on his radar right now.
Just like with anything that's out of my control, there's absolutely nothing that I can do about it. I wish all the best for anyone who's, affected by it. I hope it, gets handled and sorted out as soon as possible. Just tell me when I'm racing.
Ironically, Mike Fields, Connor's dad, told me he'd recently been talking with Connor's grandfather about the coronavirus outbreak.
I was chatting with my dad about 4 weeks ago, and he asked me, what do I think about the fact that if the coronavirus gets worse, they may cancel the Olympics, and I hadn't even considered that.
And let's not forget, this isn't the first time there have been major health concerns surrounding the Olympics. In Beijing back in 2008, it was air pollution. 4 years ago in Rio, you might remember this, the big health scare was the Zika virus. And back in 2010, 82 people were infected in a measles outbreak at the Winter Games in Vancouver.
Another week, another Democratic debate.
1 week after the brawl in Las Vegas, the Democrats meet tonight in South Carolina, and there may be a different candidate with a target on his back in tonight's Decision 2020 debate. Here's our Jeff Gillen.
That's right. Good evening, everybody. Tonight's another chance for Democrats to ask themselves which of these folks can beat Donald Trump. After his victory in Nevada, the self-described Democratic socialist is the frontrunner. And that's what worries.
I was a precinct leader at the caucus.
Local Democrat Paula Petruso.
I want somebody a little more moderate. I don't like the word socialist being attached to the Democratic Party.
As you watch this, Bernie Sanders is standing on a debate stage in Charleston. And America again will see a party with a split personality. The progressive Sanders on one side, the moderates on the other. After Nevada, the question getting louder. If Bernie wins the nomination, is that bad or good for Democrats' chances in November?
Anybody who says they know what's going to happen in the 2020 cycle doesn't know what they're talking about.
Hugh Jackson is the editor of the Progressive Nevada Current. Jackson tells me Democratic indigestion over a Sanders ticket may be misplaced.
We have no idea what kind of coalition Sanders can in fact build in a general election.
The Sanders campaign promises to get out scores of new voters, although we haven't seen that yet in this nominating contest. But it's early, and the election is 8 months away. If President Trump will be playing to his base,
then do Democrats want someone who is going to be kind of maybe mamby-pamby and trying to split the, thread the needle, or do they want someone that can get that base fired up and go out?
The bottom line about November, there may be very few undecided voters in a very polarized country. Fitting then, if it came down to Trump versus Sanders. And the South Carolina primary is Saturday. The biggest prize of the primary calendar is a week from today. That is Super Tuesday with 16 contests. If Bernie Sanders has a strong showing next week, he takes a huge step toward the Democratic nomination. I'm Jeff Gillen, News 3.
Jeff, thank you. bomb squad shut down the area of Decatur and Oakey Friday after officials found those devices in a U-Haul storage facility. News 3's Gabby Hart spoke exclusively with the suspect's sister. She joins us live from CCDC, where he's being held tonight. And Gabby, that woman says she is the one who called police and reported those devices.
That's right, Marie. Now, she didn't want to show her face, but she did tell us that her brother has a long history of mental illness and domestic violence. She also says this wasn't the first time she caught him messing around with explosives, and she's just glad that she finally had the courage to turn him in. 39-year-old Daniel Spittler is accused of manufacturing explosive devices. On Friday, those devices sparked a 7-hour bomb squad investigation at this U-Haul facility near Oakey and Decatur. The suspect's sister says her brother often talked about inflicting harm.
Talking about wanting to blow people up and shoot them and kill this person and that person.
The day authorities found the devices, she says he had assaulted their mother, ransacked their home, and took off. And as she was cleaning up the mess, she discovered a bag containing pipe bombs. She says at some point, her mother unknowingly moved that bag to their U-Haul storage unit.
She said, "No, I didn't. I only took Tupperware." Yeah. And I'm like, "No, I'm sorry to tell you, but you took more than Tupperware."
When Daniel returned home and started becoming destructive again, his sister called the police. And when officers arrived, she told them about the devices. She tells News 3 this wasn't the first time she caught him messing around with explosives.
When we lived in our previous residence, I walked in and I saw him pulling bullets apart. They were huge bullets from his Russian war gun. And he was pulling them apart and pulling the powder out.
An arrest report reveals the devices found on Friday were filled with a highly flammable material called nitrocellulose.
Did you ever stop and think that maybe this is a real threat? Maybe I should report this, seeing as how, we've seen so much go on in this country?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was very fearful. I was very fearful for my life.
But she says she was tired of living in fear. And her message to anyone going through something similar:
don't wait. We waited 8 years and anything could have happened in those 8 years. We got lucky. We could have all ended up dead.